What's up, my niggas? What's good? So today I want to talk about immortality, or Im-Mortal-Ity, right? So when niggas are talking about being immortal, most commonly or most likely, they're talking about living in the body forever, okay? And they don't really look past that. They look at defeating death, never dying, and recycling themselves through life in the same vessel over and over and over and over and over again. So, right, what insight I have when it comes to immortality is that what immortality really is because everything is led from the consciousness, right? Everything is led from the mind, right? The mind is all, the universe is mental, blah 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 blah. When you're building this concept of immortality, especially when you're guiding and focusing your energies towards living forever in your physical body, that's where your consciousness will remain and will stay the same even after you transition. So niggas get stuck when they die, right? Say for instance, they say, nigga, I want to be immortal. They do all this work, this research and all this shit, right, to become immortal in the human body, okay? They finally achieve the steps through scientific measures, through meditation, through spirit work, through magical work, sorcery work, and stuff like that, to finally figure out the keys of being immortal in the physical body, okay? At that point, your consciousness, because it has a gravitational pull, because that has been all that you focused on far as being immortal in a physical body, you've built a pathway, you've carved and paved the pathway to literally live forever in the mundane body, in the physical human body, right? What does that mean spiritually and occultly, right? What that means is that where the mind goes, the energy flows, right? You know, a few of our lecturers have said that, you know, a couple of good friends have said that as well too. And that's very true. So if you're focusing your intention on being in the mortal body beyond death, right? You got to break it down that you're going to die anyway. Death is inevitable. Everybody's going to die. And so when you die, where do you think your consciousness is going to go? Where do you think your consciousness is going to be stuck at? Right? I'm mortal-ly, right? You're basically telling yourself, because you want to be immortal, that you are mortal, right? And so you're going to be basically stuck in a human body. So your consciousness, even once you leave the physical plane and you transition over to the other side and you're stuck within, you know, purgatory, and you're stuck within the aspects of nothingness and what niggas consider to be the crossroad, or what we consider to be the crossroads. Your consciousness, because you know nothing else, because you built this energy, you've paved this pathway, and it's built with so much energy of your mind, your focus and your intent, you're going to be stuck in the material plane, observing yourself in the mundane, in the human body, even though you may not have a human body, right? So that leads to niggas, you know, being ghosts and you know what I'm saying, spirits that's walking around here lost as fuck, lost as shit in the spirit world, because they have built this concept that I'm immortal, when really truthfully they're telling their consciousness that I'm still mortal even beyond death. Okay? And so this goes to the aspect of when you're observing the material plane, when you're saying I'm mortal, that means more than just being in the physical human body. When you're saying mortal, you're literally telling yourself that you are observing yourself as a material object, right? So say for instance, you do meditations on Sirius B, okay? And you constantly go to Sirius B. You constantly go on Sirius B. Now, before I get off into this, it's nothing wrong. Sirius B is our home, right? It's an aspect of our home. Okay, so I raised it up. I love Sirius B. You know, all that good stuff. I'm not saying that to like, you know, but just follow me here. Okay, you do this meditation. You build up this pathway. You constantly reinforce this energy. Let's say Sirius B, Sirius B, Sirius B, Sirius B. And when you transition, your consciousness is going to automatically lead itself, be pulled by a gravitational pull, by a spiritual gravitational pull, to observe itself as Sirius B. Because you don't have a body, what that means is that you become Sirius B. So Sirius B becomes your body. You get what I'm saying? So that means that you literally become a mortal version, a materialized version of Sirius B. Okay? And so that's because you built up this concept and this energy to lead and guide your consciousness to that. So where am I getting at with this, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you have to be able to shift and break between what being mortal is and what not being mortal is, right? When you're telling yourself that you are immortal, that means that you're still seeing yourself as being mortal, right? As God's, my observation, my thought process is, right? My opinion is, if you're saying, because I see myself as the all, right? I don't see myself, I see all these mortal or these material observations as just that. My goal, my process, my path working is to move beyond that, right? So, as I transition out, when I transition out, you know what I'm saying, I don't get stuck with my consciousness being on a particular plane of existence. You get what I'm saying? I'm able to observe all realities and all planes of existence from a central view of nothingness. Okay? Take that how you will, take that how you may. Okay? And so to understand the concept of what true non-mortality is, use the gateways, use the keys that we have left behind for ourselves via our ancestors. Get a statue of Kronos, right? Get a statue of Saturn. Okay? Observe that. Ask yourself, what is not being mortal mean? What does that mean to me? You know what I'm saying? What does truly not being mortal mean, right? Not immortal, because to be immortal means that you're still observing yourself as being mortal, right? Then I'm just flipping things on its head so it gives you guys a new perspective to understand immortality from the traditional stance of living forever to what it could be misconstrued as and lock your ass down into a physical, full crystallized form via your own consciousness, via your own subconscious mind. And then next thing you know, you transition over and your ass is stuck in a parallel reality because you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I thought I was immortal, but you were focusing on something that you didn't really understand at that time. Okay? And so, to understand what being non-mortal is, you have to meditate on it. You have to observe it. You know what I'm saying? Get you a statue of Saturn. Get you a statue of Kronos. Observe these things because you are now recognizing that the highest form of what non-mortality is Saturn and Kronos, because you're meditating through it, and those are the gateways and keys. And as you recognize those things and you start to meditate and you write down, you scribble in your notes what being immortal is, you start to create alternate realities for yourself. That's the key factor. The key factor is to create alternate realities for yourself so that when you do transition over, you'll have more than just the earth plane of existence to fall back on when you go through your purgatory state. When you go through the cleansing and purging state of your own conscious observation of itself. Because you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to go through that conscious observation of yourself, of what you held on to and what you thought to be reality. Because your ego believed it to be so, because you have put so much, you have paved the pathway forward through with your own consciousness, your own consciousness, your own intent, your own vibration. Because you have really put emotion into it because you thought it was real. And because you thought it was real, it became your reality. And that's where you stuck your energy, your focus. And that became not the be all end all, but it became a grounding point of your focus, of your consciousness. So that once you do go into purgatory, once you go through your purgatory, and you are going to go through it, you're going to realize that shit, that was just an illusion. That was just an observation that I was having at that moment. Fuck. So now you got to go through the process of cleansing yourself and releasing and letting go of that purgatory state in order to cleanse and purify your mind, your true consciousness, to return back to nothingness. Okay, you guys get what I'm saying here? So meditating on Chronos, Saturn, will get your ass home. What I mean by home? Nothingness. Right? You are the same as me. We're all the same. We're all the all. We're all aspects of the all, especially if you have that nigga spirit in you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of race, color, anything. If you have a nigga spirit in you, and what I'm saying as vibration is vibrating your soul on a deep level, and you recognize this is truth, you have a nigga spirit in you. Raise it up. You know what I'm saying? Use these methods to dig in deep and path work yourself, right? So, you know, say for instance, I meditate on Chronos, Saturn, and I say, what is non-mortal? What does that mean to me? Right? And then all of a sudden, within nothingness, I realize that it means being vibration or sound, right? At that point, that's an alternate reality that I've created for myself in my mind to say, shit, being non-mortal means that I don't have a body. I still have a structure, which is sound, but I don't have a body. That's the first step, to realize that you don't have a body, right? You don't have a structured form. Okay. Sound. That's awesome. So now you added that reality to your Akashic record, your own personal Akashic record. So now you can tap into that when you transition over. Even now, you know what I'm saying? I know I say when you transition over, you can do it now. That's why you're doing this work. You're doing this work so you can do this shit now, so that when you transition over, it becomes easier for you. So you don't have to have a harder process or a harder time when you go through your purgatory, when you go through the cleansing phase of removing the fucking ego, or the ego dissipating or evaporating or dispersing. It becomes easier for you, and you can just get through it just like that. You know what I'm saying? This is my perspective of how I perceive things. Okay. And I'm just giving it to you guys like I see it, right? So use it as you will, use it as you may, right? So then, say for instance, you transition over, you now recognize yourself as sound, and that's a reality that you can manifest yourself as, because now you're pure consciousness. You don't have a fucking body to hold you down. You can now manifest yourself consciously, really in reality, in your own reality, as fucking sound, right? Now, the thing is, you know, because sound is an observable reality and an observable energy here, right? We have scientific measurements to observe sound, right? We have senses that to observe sound, right? But either way, you're not observing the human perspective of how sound is perceived. You get what I'm saying? You're observing yourself as pure sound. So that becomes your reality, which may becomes a blissful or ecstatic state for you, because now you're not sticking to just one case or one state of seeing yourself as being immortal, or I'm mortal in a human body. Okay? So when you go through the meditation with the statues and the figurines, you can then step beyond that and go and return home to understand what it's like to be in the central place, to really not be mortal. Because to really not be mortal means to be nothingness. Okay? It means to be nothingness. It means you don't have form, you don't have shape, you're literally that which cannot be named, smelt, taste, touch, heard, or felt. You know what I'm saying? That's only a description of what is. You step beyond names. You step beyond the name of God, because God is a crystallized form of what you truly are, to hold down your energy so you understand, you get a concept of what you are as a masculine, feminine, unified consciousness here in the mundane plane, to use it as a guidepost, to use it as a formalized energy, as a structuralized energy that you can now cultivate and work with now as a deified form of yourself. Okay? So when you get to that form of nothingness, even stepping beyond Chronos and stuff, Chronos and Saturn, You dissolve those forms, you let those forms go, and you return back to nothingness. And then that's when all the alternate realities and stuff like that you've built up, doing all your magical work, your path working, while you were in human form and in mundane reality, can now start to manifest, because you don't have a body. You truly don't have a body, right? And then the classical sense of being immortal can then activate itself, and you can recognize that form of consciousness to say, shit, I'm immortal means I live forever, in that sense that I don't have a mortal form, a mortal shape. However, I can, right? Because I'm observing it, can choose to have a mortal form and a mortal shape, which is what I was using with the example of sound. Sound is a form of mortality because it is a shape. It is something that crystallizes energy. That's all mortality is. It's a concept. It's a gathering point of energy, just like the earth is, right? To hold and host down energies. Except for the earth, it's the focal point. It's the distraction that you have agreed to observe these lessons and these different things that are being brought to you, like I'm bringing to you right now, to say, okay, I'm a step beyond that. Okay. And so once you get to that place of nothingness, then you can say you have the option, because you did the work while you were in the mortal form, in the mortal shape in humanity, to say, oh, okay, I get to observe myself in a different form, in a different shape as a mortal, right? Or not, or just stay within nothingness and do nothing, do fuck all. You know what I'm saying? You have that option to do fuck all, man. You know what I'm saying? But you then are aware that you don't have to, because you're pure consciousness, you don't have a body. You are then aware and say, you know what? I'm going to do fuck all. I'm not going to fucking take a shape or a form. I got that option. I got that, you know, I can make that choice, but I did the work because I've recognized all the alternate choices that I have to observe alternate realities, to release myself and my observation and my definition of what being mortal is. So, you know, there's always more that can be said on, but this is just my insight that I wanted to just kind of shoot to you guys about what immortality is. You know what I'm saying? Take a think on it, man. Take a think on it. Take the concepts of what I said, utilize it, ritualize it. Ritualize it, make it work for you. Do the meditation. Like I said, your gateway and your keys are the statues, not just the statues itself. I don't want you guys to get locked up in statues. It's the deific forms of energy of yourself. The statues are just gateways that are grounded on the physical plane that you can use, that you can go through via meditation to ground those energies. Okay. So, you know, don't use a statue if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can meditate on what Chronos looks like and what Chronos is in your mind, or what Saturn is in your mind. You can even use the body of Saturn. You know what I'm saying? The body of Saturn. You know what I'm saying? That third eye, that pineal. You know what I'm saying? Right there. You know what I'm saying? To meditate on, which is what you're supposed to be doing anyway. Meditate on that fucking third eye, that pineal, that pituitary and pineal. Get those two together, man. Bring them together. You know what I'm saying? The sun and the moon, or the sun and Saturn together as one. You know what I'm saying? Bring them together. Let them vibrate and sing together. You know what I'm saying? Shattering stagnation and form, releasing you from your mortality. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I wanted to give to you guys. You know, meditate on it, utilize it, ritualize it. You know what I'm saying? Turn it into a experience, so that when you do transition, you now have a new observation of your own mental and conscious reality. So you're not stuck down here on fucking earth, and you're not fucking going through a fucking cycle like Apep, you know what I'm saying? Devour motherfucking Apep, pull Apep's tail out of his fucking mouth, eat that motherfucker, turn that motherfucker into you. You know what I'm saying? That he is you, he is, and she is you, but utilize it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take. All right. I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care. Peace.